Hello everyone, welcome back to Speaking Spurs with me, Kieran, talking all things Tottenham. Apologies for the lack of video yesterday, but you might have heard me coughing in the video previously. That all got worse. I've been quite ill, so therefore could not make a video yesterday because I had no voice to talk with. But I'm back to talk to you just about my thoughts and opinions on that cup win against Burnley, which sent us through to the quarterfinals of the Carabao Cup. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe to the channel, like and comment on the video, and I will try and get back to you. But let's jump into it with the lineup. So Burnley started with Pope in goal, Roberts, Collins, Mee and Peters, Goodmanson, Brownhill, Cork, McNeil, Rodriguez and Vidra, with their substitutes being Taylor, Wood, Barnes, Aaron Lennon coming back to play against us. He actually came on in the 75th minute. Westwood, Cornet, Norris, Bardsley and Long. Then our lineup: Galini in goal, Romero and Sanchez as the centre-backs, Davies, and it's just hilarious looking at the name of Emerson Royale. It's just Brazilians have really long names. But yeah, Emerson Royale. Then Højbjerg and Skippy keeping their partnership. Hill, Lo Celso and Bergwijn making up the further forward midfielders with Harry Kane up top. Substitute bench of Doherty, Reguilon, Heung-min Son, Joe Rodon, Eric Dyer, Tanganga, Moura, Ndombele and Brandon Austin. Match officials: Peter Banks, James, blah, 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 blah. Nobody cares about that. Fourth official, Mike Dean. So the game itself, surprise, surprise, a slow start from us. Usually, as we're getting used to this now, a slow start. It took us a while to get into the game, at least 20 minutes. We're now in the last 8 of the competition, which will be drawn on Soccer AM Saturday from 10:30 AM to find out who we're going to be playing. Lucas Moura was the guy with the goal. He headed us into the quarterfinals of the Carabao Cup. It was a great header, to be honest. He headed it down into the ground, managed to maintain the power. It bounced and then into the corner, leaving Pope no chance. The ball in from Emerson Royale, I thought, was a really good ball, and we're starting to see a lot more of him in a better way. So it was better from us in a sense because we failed to have a shot in the second half against West Ham in the Premier League on Sunday, where we fell to another defeat to one of the London clubs, leaving us with only one left to play. Hopefully we don't lose to Brentford when we play them in the Premier League. So it was the 65th minute to work Pope properly in this tie. He produced a stunning stop from Lo Celso on a one-on-one, and in this one Lo Celso really should have put it away. He decided to go with the outside of his foot, and it ended up being hit a lot straighter than he needed to. He could have either gently slotted it into the bottom hand corner or could have absolutely levered it with his laces into the back of the net. Instead, he tried to be clever, go with the outside of his boot. Didn't work whatsoever. Pope was more than equal to it. Lo Celso also put Kane through at one point. Kane's shooting in this game was absolutely dreadful, in my opinion, and everybody else's. I think he just wasn't up to it. Again, trying to do little bits not coming off, unfortunately. Burnley actually didn't record a shot on target themselves until the 85th minute in the game. But they reckon they should have had a penalty when Sanchez hauled down Nathan Collins from a first half corner, but it waved on, and no VAR in operation to overturn that one anyway. After we scored the goal, loads and loads of aerial bombardment, the sort of thing that you expect from Burnley. They are very physical, they are good with the long balls. I'm not going to criticise the team for playing the long ball, because if it works for them, great, and it does. And it just meant it was a bit of a war coming towards the end of the game. But, I thought we held our own. If we want to talk about the players individually, we'll do some player ratings. Galini, a 7, thought he did okay. Royale, for me, he was in between a 7 and an 8. He had his usual shaky moments, but I thought from him was one of his better performances in a Spurs shirt. And as I've said, he's growing into it more and more with each and every game. So from him, he got the assist as well. I'd like to see better quality from him when he's going further forward, but he's definitely growing into it. Really impressed with him. Davies, a 6. It's a typical Davies performance. He comes in, does his defensive duties. He tried to get forward at times with not too much avail, really. But that's Ben Davies for you. Sanchez, I thought, was excellent. I thought he put in a really solid defensive display. And he's been pretty good this season, if I'm honest. Is he likely to feature in the game against Manchester United? Probably not, unless there's a knock to Dyer or Romero leading into the game. So don't expect to see him, but very good. Romero, a 6. Between a 6 and a 7. I mean, I thought he was okay, but Sanchez definitely outshone him today. But I do think Romero, very comfortable on the ball, as we're seeing. When he's got the ball at feet, he doesn't panic when people close him down. He's a very physical defender, and I think against Manchester United, he has to play just because of his physicality, and he likes to get in the face of his opponents, whereas Sanchez has a habit of sitting off players, making his last-ditch tackles and things like that. But, you know, Sanchez's blocks are second to none. Højbjerg, 6. I mean, he was better than he was in the previous game against West Ham. His passing was a little better, but still quite not there. Does his defensive duties, as we know. Skippy, between a 6 and a 7 himself as well. Look, gets himself about, good energy, comfortable on the ball, but not his best day in a Spurs shirt, not his worst. He did okay. Giovanni Lo Celso, I thought, a very good game at times. Took a little while to get into it. He was trying to make things happen, and this is what I've been waiting for from him. He's had some poor performances in the Spurs shirt since he's been back from international duty, but this was not one of them. He was trying to make things happen, didn't always come off. Should have had a goal and should have had an assist if Harry Kane had have been able to shoot on target. Bergwijn, a 6. Not a great day for him. He's still obviously coming back from that injury. I didn't feel he had an effectful day. A lot of what he did was hitting the ball straight into the opposition, whether it be a shot, whether it be a cross. That's just how it was for him today. He has a habit of this with his crossing and shooting. He tries to put a lot of power into his shots, which sometimes means the accuracy and composure isn't quite there. So he was hitting a lot straight into the opposition, which isn't great. But look, a lot of the work that he did, he was isolated, he was on his own, so he was trying to make things happen and didn't get the support around him. So I don't want to be too critical of him. Brian Hill, can't really say too much about him, obviously, because he came off injured, so I'm not going to give him a marking. However, the things I will say about him, I think, against a team like Burnley, he's not one you want to play. Yes, he's creative and he's got a low centre of gravity. However, he needs to strengthen up, he needs to bulk up. He is too easily knocked off the ball against physical teams, so probably not the right game for him anyway. Fingers crossed, injury's not too serious and we can get him back very soon. And then Harry Kane, I'm going to give him a 6. And another game that wasn't great from him. You know, he could have pushed himself more, worked himself into better areas. He's snatching at shots now. It's just not the Harry Kane that we're used to. And as much of a professional he is, I think all the stories and criticism might finally be getting to him. Man of the match, without a doubt, Lucas Moura made a lot of difference when he came on. So Lucas Moura, I'm going to give an 8 for his hunger, his tenacity, his runs. And again, another very typical Lucas Moura display. Great in the air. I wish he was in the box more on the end of headers. And I wish we would utilise crossing more, getting forward, playing balls into the box. Him arriving in there late to get on the end of things instead of him just having to be one of the ones creating. I mean, he does love to cut inside and he did plenty of that. Players are just scared of him at times unless they double and triple up on him. So a good performance for him where he gave lots of energy. Sonny, 6 when he come on. I mean, he was okay. That was about it. Not much to say. Tried to link up with Kane. That partnership, it's one that I think is going to take some time to get going again this season. Ndombele, when he come on, a 6 from him. He does what Ndombele does, Mr. Inconsistent himself. And then Joe Rodon come on late enough that I'm not even going to bother giving him anything. But, you know, both sides, we both made 6 changes for this cup tie. And we both took a long time to get going into this game. Burnley themselves as well. Obviously, they had the crowd behind them. But I think when you make changes in teams, this is what happens. And as Winksy had been saying over the last couple of weeks, without a lot of game time and trying to fit into a squad, it's hard to have any kind of consistency, any kind of high levels. It takes time to get into it. But yeah, apart from Sanchez's rugby tackle that could have given away a penalty, I thought for the majority we were okay. We controlled the game again. And much like West Ham, we controlled the game, but controlled it in the middle of midfield a bit too much for my liking. I think we need to take more risks, be more creative, be more assertive. Who's that in my mouth? Got a hair in my mouth. I just feel like we shouldn't have to rely on Lucas Moura to be the driving force of the team, you know. But yeah, I mean, it is what it is. It's a tough process. Normally, I criticise Nuno for not making changes when I think he should. He normally makes them too late or not at all, as we've seen a few times. So he got it near enough spot on in this game. And I felt like, yeah, we did control it. Is it the best performance we're going to see this season? No, it's not. But we were on the road. We had made changes. We obviously had the injury to Hill early on in the game, which didn't help. So, yeah, all in all, decent-ish display. Hopefully that gives us a bit of confidence going into the Manchester United game. But just touching on that briefly, it is probably, and I know a lot of you are thinking, it's probably a good time to play Manchester United, but I will tell you for one, it is probably the worst time to play Manchester United. After having that massive hammering and really poor display against Liverpool, I can tell you now they are going to be gunning to prove themselves as individuals, as a team. They're going to want to stand by him, because if he takes another heavy defeat, I think that's him out the door. And you got to remember, they've got Manchester City up next, which is a game that if they play the way they've been playing this season, they are not going to win. Like Paul Scholes nailed it. He basically said in one of his, whilst he was a pundit, saying that if they play the way they've been playing against the small teams, yes, they've been picking up victories in them, but if they play like that up against a team like a Liverpool or Man City, they will get annihilated, and that's exactly what happened against Liverpool. However, we are not Liverpool Football Club. We are not at the level of Liverpool, Manchester City, Chelsea right now. We are nowhere near it. We are on par-ish with Manchester United, so it'll be an interesting game. Man for man, they've got a better squad. Like that's the only way to put it. They genuinely have a better squad than us. So if they play the way they can and the way they should, we're going to be in trouble in this game. So they're going to want to prove themselves. Ronaldo on social media has come out and spoken after the game. He looked really angry. Rashford has come out, so I expect both of them to be gunning. Rashford's got 2 goals in his last 3 games as well. And if anyone's going to be a game changer, Ronaldo will be it. Maguire against Leicester, he was clearly not ready to play yet, but he should be ready and fighting now. Varane is also probably set to come back. He's back in training. So yeah, that could be a guy that we're going to come up against. But yeah, just expect a reaction. Expect a really, really tough game. I know we're going to have, the crowd behind us, and that should really help. So make sure if you're going, get behind the boys. Yeah, but expect a very tough game. And if Manchester United win, that's great for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, but his next game is Manchester City. So this could literally just be a nice little swan song for him. Hard game. Hopefully the boys are at it. Hopefully Harry Kane can get himself back to where he needs to be, because we really need him to be firing if we stand any chance. Dyer, if he plays, is going to have to be on top form. Hopefully the physicality of Romero will help prevent Ronaldo from having too many chances. I feel like he's probably our best bet in defence. Dyer in the air has been fantastic this season, I think. So, Manchester United putting crosses putting crosses into the box shouldn't be too much of a problem, unless Cristiano Ronaldo's there to get on the end of all of them. So hopefully they miss-hit a few and he's nowhere near them, because then we should be able to mop up. But look, we got enough about us in an attacking sense on the break if we connect well. I expect Tanguy Ndombele to come back into the starting lineup, but I would like to see substitutions come about as and when we need, and Giovanni Lo Celso come onto the pitch. Now he's had a little game under his belt with some creativity. I really hope that he can get onto that pitch and do the things that we know he can do. So look, that's it for today. I will be talking to you tomorrow at some point. Hopefully my voice is back to normal. I can start to feel like the Phil Mitchell bit coming into the back of my throat now, because I've been talking for 15 minutes and it's a bit jerky right now. So look, thanks for sticking around. I hope you enjoyed that video. Don't forget to subscribe, like and comment. Take care, and until tomorrow guys, come on you Spurs.